going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Welcome to the video, guys. How you doing? Man, I'm doing great. I am doing great. I said this probably in yesterday's video, but I want to say it again, man. You don't realize in life what you have until you don't have it anymore. And that was me and my health and just, I don't know, focusing a little bit more on my own personal family relationships this year. So taking a week and a half away, kind of not seeing anybody with the COVID, it gave me time. I was fine health-wise, very mild case, but it gave me time to reflect, and that's what I'm focused on right now, spending more time, as much time as I can, more quality time with the people I love in my life. You know, sometimes in life, it's good to have drive and I'm a driven person. I'm that kind of person that can get sucked into a project and then just go heads down, 16 hours a day. It doesn't matter, right? I've always been that way, whether it's about YouTube, my businesses, or even before that, whatever I was into. But now, in my old age here, I'm recognizing that easy, man, pull back the reins and devote some more time to the relationships that mean the most to you. So that's kind of what I'm focusing on right now that I've come out of the other side of COVID, trying to spend more quality time. That's what I'm doing here this weekend when I'm recording this video. Anyway, guys, when I had Cold Brew on the channel a few videos ago now, it was a fun collab talking about the most underrated epic champions in the game. I said something and it resonated with a few of you guys in the comments, and I love making videos like this, or some of the favorite that I put out there, shining a spotlight on champions, a very small group of champions that do something that not a lot of other champions do, right? That's very powerful, especially in today's video, and that is increasing the duration of all ally buffs. So there's only 9 champions that do that in the entire game, only 2 legendaries, only 2 rares, and only 5 epics, right? And that equals 9, right? There.
That's because I graduated the 6th grade, man. Only took 3 years.
So, why is this so powerful? For me, I spent about a year and a half playing this game, just, looking at these abilities, this increased duration of all ally buffs, and thinking, okay, it's nice to have. It's a nice addition. It's really cool. But it wasn't until I shifted my clan boss team from an unkillable with man-eaters to just a speed-tuned team with Krisk the Ageless, who is one of those legendaries that has that ability to increase all ally buffs, did I fully just kind of click that, oh my gosh, man, like this is a game changer. This can add 30 turns to my clan boss battle, or more. Because, think about it, man. There's so many good champions in the game. Let's just take Brogni, for example, right? I mean, look at all the buffs that he is putting down on my team, and you'll notice something. He has the shield, he has the block debuffs, increase attack, a shield here on the A3, right? These are all for 2 turns. The increase attack, block debuffs, 2 turns, shield 2 turns, right? On a 3-turn cooldown. Rio Bone Spear, I'm just picking the first champions I see. Block debuffs for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. And you see that across the board. Sify on her A2. Block debuffs, increase defense, increase speed for 2 turns on a 4-turn cooldown. Now, in a perfect world, we would have these abilities. Whirling Frost King, right? He's got the big version of strength and increased defense for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. All it takes is 1 Krisk, 1 Sandlash Survivor, one of any of the champions that we talk about today, especially in longer battles. We're talking Doom Tower bosses, we're talking clan boss, talking Hydra clan boss, and whatever, God knows what they're going to add to the game this year. Did you guys see that, man? I'm such a noob. I didn't even recognize that. I know some of you guys agree with me in the comments too, but if we look here, there's now a new 3rd clan boss section here. If we scroll over to the right in the Great Void area, we know that there's going to be something coming, the 4 or the 6-armed monster or whatever it is in the Void Tower area here. So, I suspect some of these are going to be, more longer battles as well. Even the Red Boss and Faction Wars. Having a champion that can increase the duration of all ally buffs is just going to make such a huge impact. You're going to have all those powerful buffs up on all your champions pretty much all the time when you have one of those champions on your team. So let's go ahead and review who these 9 champions are. And let's start with 2 really good, 1 pretty good rare and 1 unique rare. Let's put it that way. So who's the pretty good rare? It's Valerie. She's campaign farmable. If I'm early game or mid game, I'm bringing Valerie to level 50. I'm booking her up just to use this ability, Energizing Presence. Increase the duration of all buffs on all allies by 1 turn. Also decrease the duration of all debuffs on all allies by 1 turn with increased attack for 2 turns. This is on a 3-turn cooldown, man. That's a great ability right there. We're removing a debuff, or we're decreasing the duration at least, maybe removing if it's only 1 turn, and we're increasing the duration of buffs on a 3-turn cooldown with increased attack. She also has a shield on her A3. What a decent quality rare. They don't make rares like Valerie anymore in this game.
How many times must I smack you before you act right?
The other one is Hellborn Sprite, and she is from Demon Spawn. Now, Hellborn Sprite, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I've never maxed her, I've never played her, but she's the only other rare with this ability, right? And it's on her A3. She has a 3-time hitter on her A2, a 1-time hitter on her A1 with a weak version of Weaken. On the A3, increase the duration of all ally buffs by 1 turn, then places an increased crit rate on all allies for 2 turns, 15% increased crit rate. So, not bad. Not as good as Valerie in my opinion, but still not a bad option if you're just looking in the early game or the mid game and you don't have any of these other epic champions or legendary champions who for the most part are all better than these 2 rares. So let's go ahead and get into them here. And let's start with really one of the best that was added last year, guys, and it's Demetha, or Demetha. You guys get on me about Demetha pronunciation. Demetha, right? Demphia? Is that how I was saying it before? My bad, guys. You know if there's one thing you can count on, it's me mispronouncing champion name. On the A1, she's got a shield with the ally lowest HP. Awesome. On the A2, increase the duration of all ally buffs by 1 turn, decrease the duration of all ally debuffs by 1 turn, a la Valerie, and then comes in and heals all allies by 2.5% of their max HP. In addition, it heals more for every debuff removed, right? For each turn added or removed to the duration of debuffs. Okay, there we go. So a decent heal with that ability is there. Also, she has block damage and continuous heal on a 3-turn cooldown. She's a really cool addition, really powerful addition to the game. I really like her. Do you guys use her? Let me know. But you know who I actually like more than her? And I'm sure I'm in the minority opinion on this one. It's kind of like picking between your 2 children. They're both incredibly good. They're both void epics. And it's Godseeker Aniri, man. She is so good for Hydra Clan Boss. She's just so good really anywhere in the game. One of the most versatile champions in the game. As a matter of fact, I think she was the champion I was referring to on the Cold Brew video that has this ability, right? When we talked about the ability. So she has a heal on the A1. On the A2, heals all allies, then increases the duration, and then decreases the duration of all debuffs as well. Actually, it decreased the duration of all buffs on enemies, my bad, and then it increased the duration of buffs on allies. So this skill does require accuracy, okay? It is touching enemies. When you're touching your enemies, you know you need that accuracy. So just take that into consideration. Obviously, you don't need accuracy to remove buffs from your own allies, though. And then she has this revival, man. Revives an ally with the full reset of their skills. Nobody in the game has an ability like that, a revival like that. So very, very cool to have that on Rise of Glory. That's on a 4-turn cooldown. And then she has that passive increased value of heals, and also that like kind of fail-safe revive built in. If someone's about to die, places a revive on death on them, and that's also on a 4-turn cooldown when booked out. So Godseeker, an amazing option for that. If you have Godseeker, I'm assuming you're probably using her somewhere. If not,
say something normal.
You're probably sleeping on her because she's that good that you probably pretty much ought to be, even if you're in the end game, right? So we mentioned Sandlash Survivor. Let's start with her aura. Defense in all battles, 25%. Sign me up. She also has a very unique and incredibly powerful passive. Just handy anywhere you need to keep your allies alive, which is usually everywhere, right? Place an ally protect buff on all allies for 2 turns whenever any ally's HP drops below 50%, and then places block damage on this champion for 1 turn. That's on a 4-turn cooldown. That's her passive. That's just going to happen automatically as soon as one ally's HP drops below 50%. She can also come in and even extend the duration of the ally protect, going in with the A2. Attacks all enemies, decrease the duration of all enemy buffs by 1 turn. Again, that does need accuracy. And then increase the duration of all ally buffs by 1 turn. Obviously, that doesn't. She has a provoke on her A1 as well. So Sandlash, very, very good champion. I think she was added in what, 2020? 2019? I don't know. Everything's kind of blended. I think 2020. Either way, she was a great addition to the game. Next up is going to be A Skinwalker. This is a guy that not many people talk about when they talk about buff extenders, but it's Fleshterror. Fleshterror has a transferring a random debuff from this champion to the target on the A1, not bad. On the A2, heals all allies 30% of their max HP, increase the duration of all ally buffs by 1 turn. Now, if this was on a 3-turn cooldown, I'd be more bullish on this champion overall. It's not. He's still not a trash champion. He does have the decreased duration of all enemy buffs by 1 turn, increase the duration of all enemy debuffs by 1 turn. So this guy's just coming in there, Fleshterror, and he's just, you know, he's affecting all the buffs and debuffs from everybody, basically, right? On his A2 and his A3 and healing. The downside, again, is the cooldowns on this. 4 turns there. It's 4 turns here as well. Kind of not the best. However, you know, he's still an option for you guys. He's kind of one of those silent champions you can add to your squad, and it's not going to feel like he's making a massive impact, but when you sub him in there, he likely is going to, between everything he's doing to the enemies and everything he's doing for your allies. The only downside is he is pretty slow at 89 speed as well, so he's probably my least favorite out of all these champions, but still definitely deserves that shout out. The next one is another actually really good champion that not a lot of people talk about. She's a legacy champion. She's been in the game since the beginning. It's Hope.
But what I hope most of all is that you understand what I mean when I tell you that even though I do not know you, and even though I may never meet you, I love you.
She's good to even put a shield set on. She has 21k base HP. She's fast at 104 speed. All the things that we didn't say about Fleshterror, right? She has a block buffs on her A1. That's solid 50% land rate. On the A2, we're increasing the duration of all buffs on all allies by 1 turn. Place a shield buff also on all allies equal to 25% of the champion's HP. That's really solid. It is a 4-turn cooldown, but it's a good shield, so that can also be parlayed with a shield set. They will stack, of course, with this ability, so not too bad. On the A3, attacks all enemies, has a 50% chance, make it 75, of removing all buffs on a 3-turn cooldown. That's really good against any Doom Tower waves, Faction War waves, and of course Hydra Clan boss as well, with all of those buffs that they're either putting on themselves or stealing from your allies. So Hope is actually a really, really solid champion, guys. So we have Hellborn, Valerie, Hope, Sandlash, Godseeker, Fleshterror, Demitha, and then the 2 legendaries. You guys know who they are? Well, you know who one is guaranteed, because we already mentioned him, and it's Krisk. So where to start on this dude? He has an AoE on his A1 decreased speed, an AoE provoke on the A3 with the increased defense on himself, increased speed on all allies, and the A2, one of the most powerful abilities in the game. Usually we want to either be building Krisk to be the slowest on our team, or just cycling his A1 or his A3 first, and then coming back in with his A2 afterwards. You want to make sure that all the buffs, this applies to all of these champions, by the way, want to make sure that all the buffs are applied to your team before you go in with that buff extender, right? Because if you're using the buff extender and half the buffs, or even worse, none of the buffs are even applied on your team, you're wasting this very powerful ability, right? So there it is. Again, ally protect for 2 turns, continuous heal on himself, increase the duration of all ally buffs by 1 turn. And then the last champion, guys, is one that many of you may not have guessed, and it's actually Lanikus the Chosen, guys. Lanikus, an ally attack champion who's very fast with a lot of HP. She has an A1 with a continuous heal, all right, if it's critical on herself. And then on the A2, teams up with 3 random allies on a 4-turn cooldown to attack a single enemy. They're going to use their default skill. It fills the turn meters of all allies by 30% and also increase the duration of all ally buffs by 1 turn. A very, very good, maybe even underrated ally attack ability. I think that people forget that we're getting the AoE turn meter fill and the increased duration of all ally buffs, all on one ally attack ability. Very, very good champion. Increased crit rate and increased attack. Has a 25% chance of granting an extra turn as well. That can be booked up as well to a 50% chance. So just keeps everything cycling. You can cycle back to her A2 Champions of Fate even quicker. So compared to like Creel the Witch Arm, sure, we don't have the 3-turn cooldown on the ally attack. However, we we are cycling extra turns innately from this A3 at least 50% of the time. And I run on Relentless, so we get an extra chance of a turn even on top of that. Anyway, guys, do you agree with me? Increase the duration of all ally buffs. Do you properly rate this ability? Are you a fan of it? Have you built any of these champions? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know if there's another ability that you personally feel like maybe some of your clanmates, some of your friends, some people online, whatever, under kind of respect and underestimate the ability that can add to your team. Let me know in the comments below, guys. Thank you for watching, and as always, take care, guys.